Hi there, my name is Tyler Soncrainte. I'm the youth chair currently of the MIGOP as well as the Oakland County Republican Party. We are going to our state convention this upcoming weekend, and on Saturday we will be voting for new state officers. One position includes the youth vice chair. We have four great candidates who are running. They've been attending candidate forums, district meetings, answering questions, running all over the state. One thing I haven't seen though is a one-on-one interview with each candidate. So I decided let's try to do something like that, and we're going to ask each candidate a few questions that are all the same, one tough one geared towards their campaign. Following that, they will have a chance to answer any frequently asked questions, comments, or concerns, and then they can give the delegates the final pitch on why they are the choice for youth chair. So, having said that, I am joined here by James Asher, a candidate for MIGOP Youth Chair. Are you over there, James?
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. So, if you're all good with it, I'd say let's just get right into it.
All right, let's get into it.
Awesome. So, the first question that I have for you is, tell us a little bit about your background, your involvement with conservative politics,
Oh,
why you
sure.
got involved with conservative politics.
Absolutely. So to start simple, I don't come from a political family. When I was growing up, I grew up in downtown Kalamazoo, and the most that we knew about politics was what people would tell us, and that was that people were trying to take away our food stamps. So we didn't come from a political family. We didn't, that's just the political environment I came around. Me and my brothers, we faced significant challenges early on. But that gave me a lot of perspective in life. We were eventually separated. I was in foster care briefly. And then I got adopted by my aunt and uncle. And so at that moment, that was really significant for me because their love completely changed my life. I found my faith, I found my passion. And from there, I was just, it was just a complete game changer. So in sixth grade, I met my local state rep at a local fair. He gave me a pocket constitution, and I was that kid in school that would, bust it out when a teacher would say something that was outrageous or would go against the Constitution. I was definitely the Republican kid. I wore my Trump hat in middle school, the school, and when it was wear your hat day, that's what I decided to wear. So, I kind of definitely became known in my community as the Republican, especially amongst the young people. I started getting more involved with the campaigns, started volunteering, and by high school, I had started a small business to actually help conservatives win across the country. So I call it landslide politics, and we helped flip the delegation in Virginia. Helped out with candidates here in Michigan. Over 50 campaigns, consulted graphic design has been done for them. So I've been involved for quite a while. Worked on gubernatorial campaigns. Right now, I work for the Freedom Fund, so I just worked for helped out Kathy Smoltz in her district in House District 46. That was one of the top seats that Democrats were trying to get. So I've been involved for a long time, and win or lose, I'm going to be involved for a long time to come. So
That's awesome. And thanks for all the great work that you've been continuing to do, especially to
yeah.
enhance the conservative movement. Now, my next question, what made you decide to run for the youth chair of the MIGOP?
Absolutely. And that's probably the number one question I get from delegates. Of course, it's, why would you put your name on the ballot? For me, it's because I feel like um, the future of our party is in the air, to be quite frank. I truly believe that if we do not turn the page and we try to do more with our young voters, the Republican Party will cease to exist. And I'm working every day to try to prevent that from happening. Right now, the Democrats have a stronghold on the college campuses in high schools with young voters, and that has to change. So I'm running because I believe that I'm the best candidate equipped, have the most experience, the most network across the state to not only get a Republican group started on every campus, but work with donors to get investments into those chapters. Not only should we start those chapters, but we also need to make sure that we're going on social media, meeting young voters where they are. So those are my two main reasons for running. I would say my third main reason for running is because I love the youth of our state. I think that Michigan has so much potential, and it bothers me to see so many of my friends leaving our state. Not even to go to college here. I mean, they don't even leave just to leave and come back. They leave permanently, and they're not coming back. And we have to change that. Michigan is my home. I was raised by my community, so I believe that I'm called to give back, and so that's why I'm running.
Nice. I love that's a great answer. I have a lot of experience working on college campuses as well, and I do a lot of conservative tabling. And I don't believe a lot of people think the colleges are too hard to they think that they're not winnable essentially, but I
Yeah,
believe that they are. I think that there's a lot more conservatives than what people think. It's just a matter of getting that movement and getting people comfortable with, knowing that there's other people with the same mindsets as them on campus. So that's great.
for
Now,
sure.
what do you believe is the most important role of the youth chair, and what are your plans as excuse me, as youth chair to ensure success?
Yeah, so I truly believe the most important role of the youth chair is not to uplift themselves or to be this, this great, like people get titles they get in their heads and they're like, oh, I'm the youth chair, I'm this and that. I don't believe that's what the role of the youth chair should be. It's not to say this or do that. My main goal as youth chair will be to uplift other young conservative leaders. I think the best leaders are the ones that find leaders in every single community on every campus and uplift them. So that's my commitment to the delegates. As youth chair, I will make sure that I go to every single campus and I will make sure that I go to every single county in our and people are like, oh, that's impossible or that's really difficult. I think like hard work is good work, and I'm willing to roll up my sleeves and do that. And we need a candidate that's willing to do that. And so I am dedicated to making sure that we start up these campuses and we uplift other leaders. There's, like you said, there's so many more people that agree with us. We just have to find them. So when I would go to a campus, I would probably start by doing some of what you're familiar with the tabling. Once we get, like 4 or 5 people signed up, find somebody that's super interested and we can help them start a group, even if it's 4 or 3 people starting. Then that my second part is the funding part that I keep on talking about. I keep on saying I want to raise $1 million between the state party and between donors. I want to take that money and start with 7 focus groups, campuses, and put 7 grand to each group, and we can of course adjust that. But I really think that you know, a plan without steps or actions is just a dream, right? We actually have to put in the work to make sure we get those things done.
Nice. And then the next question I have for you is why do you believe that you are the best candidate for this position?
Yeah, I mean, every single one of my other opponents, they're extremely well qualified. They're great folks. I personally believe that I am the best candidate for this position because it really goes back to the network that I have built across the state since I've been involved since 6th grade. A lot of the other folks they've been involved for a long time, but I have been involved the longest. I've been dedicated for our cause the longest. I've had fundraising experience. I have experience door knocking, writing postcards. At every single step of the campaign, I have experience in whether it's graphic design, consulting. I've been on the front end and I've been on the back end of campaigns, and so I think that is crucial experience. But not just this, I have actually, I'm going to scratch that. That is great stuff that I think is important. But maybe the biggest single qualifier for my candidacy is that I have friends that are super conservative and I have some more moderate Republican friends. And I think that it's going to take all of us to win in 2026. And so I have friends in Hillsdale. I created their logo. I'm good friends with John Smith. Steve Carr is a good family friend. And then I have some more moderate state rep friends. I have connections on all sides of our Republican political spectrum, and we have to show up if we want people to vote for us. And that starts with having a message that is directed to each of those communities.
Great. It's a great answer. Um,
Thank you. I know it was kind of two. Sorry about that.
oh, you're great. No, that was perfect. So now it's time for the tough one. Um,
Okay.
so
Hit me. Hit me
Eric,
with.
you're ready. So, there was a recent controversy in Livingston County where you were denied a place on stage because you were seen in a parade for a Democrat state lawmaker, Angela Whitmer, and did a photo op with her and her supporters. You were also in M Live in 2023 saying you were a centrist and didn't support the Republican AG or Secretary of State candidate in 2022. Um,
Mhm.
the question that I have is I was wondering if you wanted to address this. Do you stand by your past comments and actions? How have your views changed over the past couple of years and why?
For sure. So I'll start with your Whitwer question. So the 4th of July parade, I was in the area. I knew Whitwer was going to be there. And to be quite frank, a couple of years ago, I was going through some things with my family. I was at the end of high school. I didn't have a place to live and other things like that, and was struggling, dealing with high school and trying to work a job. And it was a very, very stressful time. And I had a couple very good friends. Um, and I say friends, they're not political friends. They're people just that were there for me. And one of those people was State Rep Whitwer. And I will say that I really appreciate that. She was somebody that looked out for me in that time, and that meant a lot to me. With that being said, and that's a big with that being said, I don't agree with her politics at all. I don't support her politics. I had a picture with her at a 4th of July parade. I don't think a 4th of July parade or Memorial Day parades, for instance, should be politicized to begin with. And so I would say a picture does not discredit my, almost a decade work of work for our movement. I've knocked thousands of doors. I've donated to conservative candidates. I think that yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. I understand where people would have that question or are curious about that. And so my answer is just ask me about it. And I totally would, give me a call. I'm very, very accessible. And one thing about my campaign is that when people have brought up these things, I have never hid from a thing, And so as far as your question about how have I grown and stuff, so there was when you're talking about the my past comments on the AG, I think it's important that we have good candidates that we're selecting. I think that we need to be running on issues that matter to people. I do think that there were some instances where drag queens were in schools. However, that is not the issue that is going to win us a general election. And I felt like some of our candidates in that time were focusing on cultural war issues that completely um, just didn't matter to Michigan voters. And we lost. And Michigan voters agreed. We saw President Trump lead on the issues that matter, the economy, the border, our state, and we won. So my answer to that is just look at what wins and what doesn't win. And I think we have to run on the issues. We have to run on why are we Republicans? Democrats like to run with their hearts. Republicans like to run with their heads. The truth is we have to run with both. We should run with both because the truth is our great ideas are going to help these families. Our great ideas are actually we do care about people because lower taxes means that you can put more food on the table for your families. It means that you can be able to afford your medication. It means that you can, not just have to live paycheck to paycheck. These are really real issues that people care about. And I think those are issues that people want to vote on and they do vote on. So we do need to get Republicans out to vote, but we also need to be getting voters that usually might not vote for us, as President Trump did in 2024. So, um, was there another question? And I think your third question was how have I grown? So my commitment to the delegates is that I am always going to be willing to grow, to learn. I am not perfect. Some of my past comments on President Trump were ill-informed, but once I got the correct information, I was proud to cast my first presidential vote for President Donald J. Trump. I was part of the reason voters like me were the reason why he won. They thought, oh, somebody like him, he's not going to vote for Trump. Well, I did, and I did proudly. And this whole criticism that I was a never Trumper or this or that, that's just not true. And like I said, there was a brief period where I was critical, but like JD Vance, like Elon, like RFK, like Tulsi, we grow our party by taking people that might have a little bit of criticism and say, hey, here are the facts. Come join our side. If our message to folks is, well, you've changed your opinion, great, but you're a rhino. You don't belong in our party. You're a traitor. If that's our message to our to voters or to folks that change their opinions, that's not a winning message. That we win by addition, not subtraction. So I am very conservative. I am a proud American first candidate. I have done a lot of research into what President Trump stood for. And I've been watching his leadership style over the past couple of months, and I have to say, it's just refreshing to have an actual like a president again, like somebody who's actually leading. So.
Well, thank you for that great answer. And, um, I'm glad that we had the opportunity for a little bit of transparency as opposed to censorship on that
Of
issue.
course.
Um, Following that, are there any comments, questions, or concerns that have come up frequently within your campaign? I know that we've, kind of touched on a few of them throughout this interview.
Yeah, I think the biggest one that I want to bring up is you brought up the point of censorship. I can say confidently, I am the only youth chair candidate who has had attack emails sent out against them. I'm the only youth chair candidate who has Facebook pages and Twitter pages dedicated towards bashing them. I have tough skin, and I serve an even greater God. People can threaten me all they like, um, but I'm not going to give up, and I'm never going to stop fighting. I'm never going to stop learning and growing. And that's not just my commitment to the delegates; that's a commitment to myself, right? And that's what I think we all should hold ourselves to. So I'm not perfect. I think that the only person that is ever perfect was Jesus Christ, and we can only hope to try to learn from his teachings. And so, with that being said, no matter what happens in this campaign, I'm blessed beyond measure. Meeting the delegates has been such an honor. Like, I get emails from people that I've never even met just saying, I support you, or I really like this plan. And that is just so cool. It makes my day. People are so friendly. We see a lot of negative people online, but you just got to ignore the haters and just keep on pushing through. I think President Trump know a thing or two about showing the haters. So let's see what we can do on Friday and Saturday about that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm glad that you have such a great attitude about that.
Thank you.
Now, the final question that I have, do you have any final statements? Tell the delegates why are you the candidate for youth chair?
Absolutely. So my final push to the delegates is I would say this. Look at our experience, look at our hearts too. Who do you feel is the most transparent? Who do you think has answered all of your questions? Who do you think is not giving you a political answer? I love all my opponents. I do know sometimes they give political answers. I don't think in this campaign I've given one like, oh, I'm going to try to, how do I word this? I am honest. I'm honest when people ask me tough questions, when they ask me even not tough questions. I think that's the key part about what we should be looking for in leaders. There's a difference between a politician and a public servant. We need to elect public servants. I'm running because I believe that I've been called by God to lead our young people and help win in 2026. If I don't win, then I'm going to be keep on working my butt off either way. But I know that with the delegate support, we're going to get a Republican group on every campus. I know that with their support, we will get the investments that we need to fund those groups. I know with their support, I will be able to go on Twitter. I will be able to go on X. I will create social media ambassadors, and I will create regional youth chair positions for all three of my other opponents to still serve in our state. With their support, we're going not only to win big in 2026, but we're going to make sure that we have a conservative movement that is here for generations to come. I'm not here just to, after my 2 year, the next 2 years are over, to just dip out. I want to build something in our state that's going to be here to outlast me, to make sure that we have the infrastructure to keep on getting new young voters. Because once we train the current ones, well, the great thing about young voters is every single year we get a new generation of a voter that we have to dedicate ourselves to. We have not been doing that. As your youth chair, I will make sure that we do that.
Awesome.
And if anyone has any questions, of course, my number is 269-501-9356, and my website, asher2025.com, has all of those plans, detailed plans. I can say confidently I am the only candidate with actionable steps to accomplish each of those goals.
Awesome.
So
Well, James, you seem to be a very energetic young man with a nice, great head on his shoulders, and
I
um,
don't even drink coffee.
no,
I'm just
that I drink too much coffee, and that's why I told you. Just kidding. But anyways, no, I do wish you the best of luck coming up this weekend.
Thank
I
you.
have a couple more interviews to do today, so I'm hoping that all the videos will be online and put out hopefully by the end of today.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for doing this. And again, just what you've done for our state and your dedication. Thank you so much. And no matter what, I was going to note that whoever gets the next youth chair position, we have to take notes about like your program, your tabling program. I think that's like we need that on every single one of those campuses. And so I definitely want to work with you on that. So
Oh yeah, I mean, win or lose, please feel free to always reach out to me.
will do, man. Will do.
All right, James, thank you for your time today. Once again, I wish you the best of luck, and I will see you this weekend at convention.
All right. I'll see you at convention. Thank you.
Take care.